It'll all be worth it. It'll all be worth it. It's so pretty, but so painful. Hello everyone, my name is Arwen, and today I'm going to be using the spinning wheel. If you have already seen videos on this channel, you probably know that this channel has just been like drawing, but I do a lot of different kinds of art, and I want to show that on the channel. So today we're spinning yarn. So this is not going to be a tutorial. I've only been spinning for like 6 months on a spinning wheel, so I'm just going to kind of be spinning, maybe give some tips that I've learned through my experience, and just like talking as I spin. That's the plan. So I guess this video is geared towards like people who are like beginners at spinning but have like spun a little bit, because if you're just getting started with spinning, like you have not used a spinning wheel or a drop spindle, I am not gonna be able to help you with that. I'm just a guy who spins yarn. So, oops. Here's a place where I can do a tip. You add too much twist and your yarn is too thin to handle all that twist, so it breaks and you need to start again. Arwen tip time. Why isn't it working? You add too much twist and you gotta get it back through the orifice, but you don't feel like grabbing like pliers or a crochet hook. You just let it pigtail, I think that's what people call it, and then you stick the pigtail through the orifice, and then it's through the orifice super easily. And you gotta get started up again. It helps if you let your fiber like dangle so it gets some of that energy out, and then it's soft again. And then with your chunk, the supply, you draft out like a little bit and have it next to the string in a different area than you were just spinning, because it's going to be really annoying to try to connect this thing to the string that you have. So I'm just going to start from a different place, and then I want to kind of stretch the bit of fuzz at the end along with the fiber that I'm adding, because it helps it get incorporated and not just slide right on. Oh, I understand why it wasn't working. It got wrapped around the wire. See, I'm not good at this. I can't do a tutorial because I'm not good at it. Alright, popping in really quick to say some things. I made a Discord server for people who like art and think I'm cool, and I'm gonna put the link to that everywhere, here, description, everywhere. You'll be able to find it. Second, a thing I forgot to mention in the video, I learned how to spin from YouTube, specifically JILLIANEVE. Really cool YouTuber. If you like fiber arts of any sort, you should watch her channel. She's awesome. Okay, back to normal video things. Another thing is if you're spinning and you have way too much twist in your string, one, increase your tension. Can you see that? You cannot see that. But there's a tension thing over here. You tighten it, and that helps have there be less twist because it's eating up the string faster than it's adding twist to the string. So you want to increase your tension. But another thing is, if you already have too much twist in the string, try to draft out some of the energy. Like, just draft it, like stop the wheel, add more string by drafting more, and then it kind of releases some of the twist. And then once you've increased your tension, you can just roll that up, and then it's the right amount of twist. And it's not working again. Excuse me, sir. There we go. If you have an old spinning wheel, it helps to be a little bit handy. Like, I had to like make a bunch of new parts for the spinning wheel and fix things. I don't know woodworking. I kind of just added stuff to it that seems like it would work, and for the most part it has worked. Like let's stop and show you. Can you see? You cannot see. But the flyer, it has the stick that goes through here. And then over here it has I could just turn the camera. Yeah, this part that holds the flyer in place on this side, it broke. So I wrapped this wire around the stick that was holding the thing that held it, and there's a little loop on the end of the wire, and I wrapped ribbon around it because it started digging into the metal and it was really bad. So I wrapped ribbon around it so it wouldn't do that. And that's worked, and that setup has worked for like 2 months since it broke. So that's good. I'm really bad at drafting consistently. Like, you're probably seeing that sometimes I'm doing like short little pulls of fiber, and then sometimes I'm pulling like way back. I'm not gonna do it there because then I'll break it. But, oh, that's too thin. Another thing is if it's too thin, you just grab some of your supply and put it over the too thin part. That works most of the time. So I've just accepted that my yarn is gonna be really uneven because I figured if I'm spinning yarn, I don't want it to look like it came from the store. Like, if I wanted yarn that looked like it came from the store, I would just go to the store and buy yarn. But I'm spinning yarn, so I want it to look handmade. That's like the whole point. Making handmade things, having handmade things. So, I'm okay with my yarn not being super consistent. Hopefully as I learn more about spinning, I'll be able to control the inconsistency of it better. But for now, it's pretty lumpy. It has a lot of thick and thin parts. But I've crocheted with yarn that I've hand spun in this really chaotic way, and it's still a nice crocheting experience. Like, you'll have super thick parts and super thin parts that can be annoying, like using the same size hook throughout the whole project. But it's not that bad. Like, I'm just rolling with it. Oh, also, I dyed this fiber myself, which is fun because I have never like successfully dyed fiber before. I attempted like some natural dye, and I was really bad at it. I'm gonna keep trying, but it just wasn't taking up color, and I don't know how to make it take up the color. So I'm gonna keep working on it. But I dyed this with like just fabric dye that I bought from the store, and it looks really pretty, and I'm happy with it. If you watching this video are like have spun a little bit, but like not to the point where you can kind of keep the wheel spinning all the time, and you have to like start and stop every like few presses of the pedal, that's okay. Like, it takes longer to spin yarn, but that is a perfectly fine place to start. Like, I spun yarn like that for like 2 months before I was able to get the wheel spinning consistently. So, if that's still how you're spinning, then that is totally fine. You'll get better at it. Another thing is like having smoother roving to work with. Or, I'm using comb top here, but I'm not going to go into the difference between comb top and roving. That, I don't know off the top of my head, and I'm not about to Google it, but using just like smoother fiber helps with that. Like, you're just able to draft faster when you have smoother fiber. But in order to spin the wheel consistently, you'd need to be able to draft really fast. Like, the wheel can only spin so slowly without just like not having enough momentum to keep spinning. So, you need to be able to draft fast in order to have the wheel spin consistently. And if you're a super beginner, you're just not going to be able to do that. So it's totally fine to just start and stop the wheel. A big green chunk in this yarn. This is exciting. Oh, also, when I get to plying the yarn, I'm plying it with a different color. I'm plying it actually with some fiber that I attempted to natural dye, and it didn't work. So it's basically just an off-white, and I think it's gonna look really pretty. I'm excited. That got too thin. I was trying to make this thick part thinner, but then I made the thin parts too much thinner. Also, I talked about how to tell if your tension is too loose, but if you feel like you're spinning and the wheel is just pulling the fiber out of your hand and it's just like meh, and then it winds up in there, then your tension is probably too tight. I don't know why I did that. I don't know why I yanked the yarn off of the stuff. That was annoying to fix. Also, since I do have parts of my yarn that are like really thin and some parts that are thick, if I do have a really thin part of my yarn, I'll like panic draft super fast until I know it's wound up in the bobbin, because if it's wound up in the bobbin, then it's not gonna snap. But if it's actively having twist added to it, then it might snap. I'll try to give an example of this. Like, if I draft this really thin, like that thin, then spinning. I've got to draft super fast so it doesn't get wound up in so it gets wound up in the bobbin without snapping, and we're safe. Funny story. I was reading some articles on like how to be a good YouTuber, because I'm trying to like actually grow the channel. I want more people to watch my videos. That would be really cool. And like all the things are like, don't have a boring first 30 seconds. Don't speak monotone. But I'm like, first off, ableist. Second, should I like, I'm gonna do something with this video where I just have like a short 5-second clip of me saying something funny in the beginning. I don't know what that's gonna be yet, we'll see. And then I'll have my little Are With the Frog introduction, and then I'll start the video. Because I've seen some YouTubers do that. We'll see if that works, if that gets more people to like be interested in the video. But I also want my channel to be like chill. I don't want like it to turn into a super energetic place where people like come and feel overstimulated. I just want people to come here and feel relaxed. So I don't know if I'm gonna take that advice. Maybe I will, maybe I won't, we'll see. I don't want to try to talk less monotonely than I do naturally, because this is just how I talk. I don't want to change how I talk. Spinning this, and I have a confession to make. I only have one bobbin, so this is how we're gonna get it ready for playing. So this is the other single I have. So we're gonna take this off of the wheel. We're gonna wind it up on here. We're going to put it on a toilet paper holder. Then we're gonna put it on a stick, and that's how we're gonna play, because I only have one bobbin. Alright, it's time to ply. So this is my setup. I've got them on toilet paper rolls so they can roll. This is on the floor. So I can actually show you how I get started now. So I have the leader, which is the string tied to the bobbin. I have it through the orifice, and I'm going to grab the ends of the yarn. There. And I'm going to tie them around the leader. Now, this is very important. You've gotta spin when you're playing in the opposite direction that you spun the yarn in when you're applying. So in my case, that is counterclockwise. So I'm going to spin the wheel counterclockwise. Oh, also, the cross needs to be on top when you're spinning counterclockwise on my spinning wheel. I don't know if it's the same on everyone's, but on my spinning wheel, that's how that works. It's time to climb. Or not. It'll all be worth it. It'll all be worth it. It's so pretty, but so painful. There we go. That's working. Oops. In case you can't tell, I am not good at flying. So the reason for that is for a while I couldn't figure out how to fly on the spinning wheel, so I would fly on a drop spindle every time I had to fly. Like I would spin the singles on the spinning wheel, and then I would fly on the drop spindle. So I didn't get much practice with the spinning wheel. In fact, this is only my second time flying with the spinning wheel. So we're having a bit of a struggle. Spun up as much of the yarn as I can onto this bobbin. So now I'm going to take it off and wrap it onto this piece of wood which I have measured. So here's another confession. I don't own a nitty notty. That's the thing that you wrap the yarn around to see how many yards it is. So I just have this plank of wood. I measured it. It goes 50 inches around. So I am going to just wrap this around it. And then I'll do math at the end. So that's 1. I'll do math at the end. I'll see how many wrap. So it's like 50 times however many times I wrap this, divided by 36. That's how many yards it is. $60. 61, 62, alright, 62.5. Alright, are you ready? This is the skein. It's so pretty, but as you see, it's a little bit over twisted. But that will be fixed in the next step. Well, the step after the next step. So the next step is to dunk this in soapy water and leave it there for like half an hour, and then the step after that is really fun. So I'm gonna go dunk it in soapy water. I will see you after that. Here's the yarn soup. Also, it was 86 yards. So you two, you're gonna keep me accountable for something. I need to clean my bedroom. So, when I come back, my bedroom is gonna be clean. And if it's not, you've gotta be like, Arwood, clean your room. Alright, it's time for the fun step. I hope you can hear me, because our neighbor is mowing their lawn. It's Arizona. Why do they have a lawn? It's Arizona. They shouldn't have a lawn. Anyway, collective stare of shame for whoever has a grass lawn in Arizona. Stare of shame over. I cleaned my room, by the way. So now the fun step. I'm gonna take this out of the bowl. Let's make sure it doesn't get tangled. So, I'm gonna rinse out the water really quick, and then you'll see what we're doing next. It's thwacking time, it's thwacking time. Who's excited for thwacking time? Okay, that's not gonna work. So we're just gonna do that a whole bunch until the yarn is ready. Let me make sure it doesn't get tangled. I'm very worried about it getting tangled. Okay, actually the yarn is getting caught on that pole really easily, so we're gonna grab a chair. You wanna thwack it, holding it at every part of the skein, so the whole thing gets whacked. this is the step that kind of sets the twist. So I over twisted this a little bit when I was playing, so this is gonna make that not a problem. Alright, it is several days later, but I finished the yarn. Not only that skein I was working on, but 5 whole skeins of yarn. And it's so pretty. You can look at it up close. I don't know if it's focusing, hopefully it is. It is very pretty. Yeah, I made 5 of them. I have a whole bunch of a whole bunch of yards of yarn. I put little labels on all of them that say how many yards I have. I think I have like 370 yards in total. Yeah, I'm excited. Yeah. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Goodbye.